Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy. And since it's not a personal reading, and I don't know your life, I'm just going to read it from a couple different perspectives. Some people will harness this energy in a high vibe way because they tap into and harness high vibe Cancer energy. They operate from a foundation of love. They're motivated and inspired by love to be just and fair, to heal, to grow, to mature themselves. And other people harness a more worldly focused Cancer energy. Maybe love the world more in love with, the things of the world, focused on the world, money, status, image, power, indulgence, themselves, just, we have our dualistic nature and we have the free will choice to align with love and hope and faith and belief and justice and fairness and treating other people the way we like to be treated. And some people just aren't into that, If you do love, you could get hurt. And for some, that's enough of a reason for them not to do it. For other people, they might not believe in having hope or faith, or they might not believe that, that's just fantasy land, that, all there is the world. And if the world says make your life about this and that, they make their life about this and that. And they maybe just don't even, think that's just some fairy tale concept people have in their life. So, and then some people are just shadowy. They could have a lot of pain, heartbreak, fear, insecurity, self-limiting beliefs, and they just use their emotions manipulatively in relationships to get what they want. So let's tip it down and see what the story is. We have the Emperor, and the reason it came out is because of the Two of Wands. In high vibe, it doesn't matter if this is male or female. I'll show you the next set of cards. I have the Tower. And the reason is because of the Eight of Swords. We all take action in the world in masculine energy because we can all present ourselves in the world any way we want. I'm stable. I'm grounded. I'm emotionally mature. I'm a pillar of society. But who are we really internally, emotionally? So the way I read it, and that way you can apply it to as many people as you want in your life, people are presenting themselves in the world. Some of them are presenting themselves as that they're moving forward on this new journey in life. But some people are hiding that the reason they're even going on that new journey is because they are in a mental prison emotionally. They have a lot of fear. They got a lot of insecurities. They could be concerned about their ego or their image, or if they'll get in a relationship, or if they'll have stability, or they'll have security, whatever. The Emperor can talk about making a decision. And I think some of the shadowy people, if they're more shadowy oriented, they are people who like to be the boss. They like to be in relationships with other people who will let them be the boss, whether they're male or female. If they like to be bossy, they want to be bossy. If they want to be controlling, they want people to let them be controlling. Some of them are all about themselves, all about their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. In shadowy Two of Pentacles, they juggle. They don't really invest in people. But in order to get people to move forward with them, like hire them for a job, get in a relationship with them, they most likely try to present themselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer, high vibe Aries energy. I'm a loving family person. I make good decisions in relationships. You should want to be in a relationship with me. But the truth is, they could be very unstable and they live more from their mind than their heart. And they could be really concerned about their fear or their insecurity or their pride or their ego. And they're hiding a bunch of stuff about either what they're doing or hiding a bunch of stuff in order to get someone to keep staying in a relationship with them or to get in a relationship with them. In contrast, the people that harness high vibe energy, those people have learned a lot of lessons in life. They really do make good decisions in their life. and they're balanced. And they've done the work to free themselves from their more shadow nature, which is our more immature, prideful, egotistical, bossy, controlling, caught up in illusions of the world. And when they realize that there's things that have been getting them caught up in their head, they take creative action to get to the bottom of it in the Tower card, to get to the truth. Why am I in a mental prison? Is it because of other people? Well, I don't control other people. Are other people doing things not, if I'm making good decisions in a workplace, a friendship, a romantic relationship, and I'm maintaining balance within myself, I'm not acting stubborn and prideful or bossy or controlling, and I'm working together in Cancer energy from a foundation of love, treating people the way I like to be treated, with respect and being just and fair. They want things to move forward, for things to keep progressing, not to keep staying in unstable energy. And if they have other people in their life, this can even just represent their kind of shadow nature. There could be a part of them. The Fool card and the Emperor energy are both Aries energy. And in our own Aries energy, there can be a part of us, just like in everyone else, that regardless of if we're moving forward in life, there could be a part of us that wants to go back and repeat an old pattern, because it's scary to move forward in life differently. I have to let go of all the things that had me up in my head. I maybe have to let go and detach of other people in my life that are up in their head. High vibe people have given a lot of thought. In the 8 of Swords, there's a maximum of 10. If you're 8 swords up in your head, it's about 2 cups of love in your heart. Who's acting loving? Who's being just and fair? Who's acting with character and integrity? Who isn't acting loving? Who isn't acting with character and integrity? Who isn't being just and fair? Am I acting with love and being just and fair and acting with character and integrity? And the whole thing is, we want to move forward. If you harness high vibe energy, you want to move forward with other people who harness that same energy as you do. And in between all of this, we have these cards not showing themselves. And the reason they came out is because of the High Priestess. So again, whether you're high vibe or not, anytime in your life, and you could be thinking, I need to get out of my head about this stuff. I need to just listen to my intuition. I need to go on this new journey. And if there's people in my life who are up in their head about love, or detaching from whatever they need to detach from, or have a problem listening to their intuition, it kind of eventually gets down to that, high vibe people are ready to go on a new journey in life. And the truth is, some other people might not be. Some other people might want to keep living life the way they've lived it, which can be in shadow. I am operating from my more worldly or egoic or emotionally defensive nature, and I want to keep living my life like that. And they could try to present themselves as someone people should want to be in a relationship with, but they maybe really shouldn't. And they're hiding that it's more about them, and that they have a lot of life lessons to learn. High vibe Emperor is people who have learned a lot of life lessons in life. In tarot, we have the pages, and we have the knights, and we have the kings and queens. We've got to learn all these lessons in all these different areas before we can become an Emperor, Empress energy. The pages are like children, and the knights can be like teenagers and young adults, and the kings and queens can be when we're in our 20s and 30s and 40s. We're learning lessons. We're learning how to be loving and nurturing, how to be speak our truth in workplaces, in relationships, to believe in our creativity and our ideas and to be willing to put in work and effort into those things. And sometimes we get really caught up in one aspect of our life, like, oh shit, my heart's running my life. And the other three aspects of our life can kind of go in the toilet because the only thing that matters to us, we're in our emotions about something or love, and we let that run our life. And our practical life, our stable grounded life, our all these other things can get messed up. And same way, if we start to decide to protect myself, I got to live from my mind, and I don't want to get hurt, and I got to be practical and logical. Well, then we can make living from our mind and doing what makes us feel safe and what seems practical and logical, and a lot of other aspects of our life kind of go off in the ditch because we're not we have these lessons to learn, and we kind of are maybe in more scattered energy. And Emperor and High Vibe is being kind of having learned all these lessons to be unified in love within yourself. I know that I can love things. I know that I can be passionate about things and lustful about things and greedy about things. And I know that there's, it's just having learned all these lessons that I take all those lessons I've learned to stay unified within myself and balanced from a place of love, because I've ran my life off into the ditch before and learned all these difficult lessons, and I don't want to do that anymore. So the important thing I think we kind of learn in tarot is about maintaining balance within yourself. We have our worldly nature and the things of the world that we want. But if we want to be someone who feels proud of ourselves that we didn't act in immature, prideful, egotistical, selfish, bossy, controlling ways of being, we want to move forward and, fulfill these wants and desires that we have in the world, but doing it in a way that we act with character and integrity, and so we can feel proud of ourselves and that we're growing and maturing ourselves and we're becoming like the best version of ourselves and what we're capable of. And so high vibe people make good decisions in their life because I'm not going to be in scattered energy. I'm not going to let my heart or my mind or my lust or my greed, run my life. There's more to me than just aspects. I'm, body, mind, spirit, soul. I need to take all these things into account. And when we've learned all these lessons in life, because we feel stable and grounded within ourselves, part of that is not getting caught up in a mental prison, because in high vibe energy with like the high priestess card, which is letting love and intuition guide our life. We can let our fear run our life, we can let our insecurity run our life, let our ego run our life, or we can let love and intuition be the guiding factor for the decisions that we make. And because of that, it's just the Tower can talk about seeing the truth. If other people were motivated and inspired to move forward in the way that we want to move forward in, being just and fair, treating other people the way you like to be treated, motivated and inspired by love, they would take that action. And the Emperor energy, because it's a masculine energy, it's about people taking action. It can be the decisions they make, communication they make. And the whole thing is, some of those people are going to keep repeating an old pattern. And part of it could be because they haven't seen the truth yet. The truth sets us free to live our life differently. And some of those people could be they're still really getting caught up in their head, or they're really fearful of love, or making decisions that are best for everyone involved, and they still just want to make decisions that are best for them, or they don't want to do love because they get hurt doing love. So, it's just, we all learn lessons at different times in life. And some of the people who have been ready to move forward could have been hoping some people in their life would be willing to move forward with them. And eventually it gets to a point where, I don't know, maybe, the Tower is a universe card. Well, actually, the Emperor, in a way, and the High Priestess are too, in high vibe, that, when we take the lessons that we've learned in life and we've learned to trust our intuition to guide us instead of our ego and our fear and stuff like that, it lets us know when it's time to take action and to let go of the past. If we were hoping someone would want to come be in a relationship and move forward with us in life and they're not, that it's time to let that go. Because if other people aren't working with us cooperatively in a loving, just, and fair manner, or aren't inspired by it, so they're not approaching us or contacting us, just like if any of you aren't communicating with some old people in your life, they might be experiencing a tower moment because they see that you're not interested in living life the way they live it. So we have our dualistic nature. People are either more motivated and inspired by love and being just and fair and acting with character and integrity, treating other people the way they want to be treated, or other people are like, I'd rather do life the way I want to do it, and it's maybe not that. And sometimes it's just that some people are in different relationships, and we got to see the truth of that too. Why don't some people come to work together with other people? Because they're already moving forward in their own journey in this same energy. And we have to see the truth of that too. How sometimes you could meet people at work or through social groups, and maybe you don't know if they're really in a relationship or not. And you maybe were kind of, by something you said or action you took, or maybe kind of hoping that maybe they would reach out to you, but they might be in their own kind of in this process, but maybe they are in a relationship. So we can, we don't really know why, with some people what's going on, but they're either in loving situations of their own, or they're not ready to move forward in the way we are because there's some issues maybe that they haven't dealt with. Maybe they don't trust listening to their intuition, because when they listened to their intuition before and they took action on it, things blew up. But the whole thing is, I think we're drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with people because we do have lessons to learn from them. And it is kind of about what kind of foundation we build our life on. Are you more about hope and faith and belief and love and justice and fairness? Are you more about yourself or money or ego or image or whatever? And if we learn the lessons we're meant to learn from those life experiences, it doesn't make us give up on our dreams. And we learn the lesson we're meant to move from those people, and we keep moving forward. But some people, they did listen to their intuition to go get in relationships with people. And those people could have come into their life to try to get them some truth, to see a truth. If we have lots of lessons to learn, and the devil kind of comes into our life because we have lessons to learn. And part of it can be that I've learned to love myself. I'm not very balanced. I do have my fears and insecurities. Well, if we're not aligned with hope and faith and belief and love and making that our focus and the decisions that we make, we're going to make decisions because of our fear or insecurity, codependency, and we're going to get drawn and attracted to certain people who probably are in that same energy as us. And it's probably not going to work out very well because we both could have some growing up to do, some healing. And if both people aren't willing to let go of what kind of imprisons them and listen to their intuition and both work together in balance, each person making good decisions in their life, maintaining balance, the other person making good decisions in their life, maintaining balance. If both people are doing that, they both can detach from old ways of being, kind of grow and mature themselves, and they keep moving forward in relationship. And some people are doing that right now. And if people don't, that's when, a foundation breaks down. And then we need to be willing to see the truth of it. Why did that relationship break down? How did I have to grow up and mature myself and be out of my shadow? How did they need to grow up and get out of their shadow? Was it both that we were up in our head instead of letting love and intuition guide us? And we both have that lesson to learn. Was one person more bossy and controlling? Was one person more materialistic? Were both people that way? It's just to see the truth. And then, depending on what type of person we are, it's to see the truth, not give up on our dreams, take the lesson we learned from it, where we continue to listen to our intuition. And some people, kind of in their Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, Gemini, Pisces, Aries, Scorpio, are doing that. And they're saying, you know what? I've seen the truth of lessons I've need to learn. I've seen the truth of other people in my life who've had some lessons to learn. Some of those people have learned those lessons. Some of those people haven't. I don't want to keep moving forward with the people who haven't, because they're building their life on an unstable foundation. And as long as they're more worldly, fearful, immature, afraid, whatever it is that manipulates them, as long as they're manipulated by that, I can't go on a journey of love with them, because they haven't learned the lessons to free themselves. And there too, some people don't want to be free. I like being the boss. I like making my life about the world. I like being inspired by the world and making my life maybe more about money and materialism. And, if that's what they're driven and motivated by, that's what they're going to keep taking action towards. And other people are like, I've been there, I've done that. We all like stability and security and enjoy the finer things in life, but it's not the end all be all. Some people treat money and status and power and image like some people are addicted to drugs or alcohol. It's just their drug of choice. They don't want to do love. They maybe don't want to be just and fair. They don't want to have to put in the work to heal. I just want to keep indulging in these things of the world, and I don't want to listen to my intuition. I don't want to go on a new journey. I don't want to face my fears or look at life from a higher perspective or anything. I like living my life like this, and some people have a certain way of living life, viewing the world, and they don't want to change it, and that's fine. Everybody's got free will. But if you get in relationships with people who could be all about themselves, don't really want to invest in people emotionally, because then they got skin in the game and they don't want to get hurt, and they'd rather kind of have it be where people kind of indulge them in a relationship being emotionally defensive to love, or maybe being just and fair, or maybe acting with character and integrity. And then there's a problem because other people don't want to stay in a relationship with them being that way. And then foundations come crashing down because maybe one person thought it was going to be about love and justice and fairness, and the other person's like, nope, not doing that. And that's when other people move on, and those people go back and try to repeat that pattern with someone new. And they do the whole cycle over again. I want it to be more about me, or I want it to be more about money and materialism. I want it to be where I don't have to detach from anything. I don't want to put in the work to figure out, why don't I listen to my intuition? Why don't I believe in my dreams? Why don't I believe in love? Why am I defensive? Why am I all about myself? Why is money or status or image so important to me? Why can't I have a balance? You're either balanced or you're juggling, and you're trying to like present yourself as being more stable and grounded and mature and all those things than you really are. I want to present like I'm this loving person that people should want to get in a relationship with, but then I have a problem being just and fair. I have a problem being loving. I have a problem being vulnerable. I have a problem listening to my intuition. When something happens in the relationship that gets me up in my head, it'd be nice if I listened to my intuition and if I was more mature and I'd learned more lessons in life, but I haven't. So I'm going to take some action more out of fear and insecurity and pride and ego and defensiveness, and it's really going to wreak some havoc in a relationship because I present myself as being, they could have, a lot of power or influence or stability and security or attractive or whatever in the world, but they just haven't learned how to get out of their own head. And because they take foolish action in a relationship, maybe continuing to hide, because shadowy high priestess is hiding energy. I know I'm going to get in a relationship. I have all these fears and insecurities about maybe being hurt or hiding the fact that I like it to be all about me and I'm just really indulging in the relationship. And eventually, as time goes by, the people I'm in a relationship with see that I do these things that aren't conducive to a solid, stable, grounded, loving, mature relationship. And the people who thought by being in a relationship with me that they would be able to build this solid, stable foundation, their intuition tells them, you better leave because this person does not operate from that foundation, even though they might present themselves as being that way. That's why, I mentioned that when we look at the masculine energy, it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female, but they're taking action in some way that is in shadow. It's not who they try to present themselves to be, unless some people you might know are very bossy and controlling and they don't try to hide it and they try to discourage other people from listening to their intuition and they want other people in a mental prison and they want those people to keep indulging them. You could kind of have a boss like that, for example, where a boss doesn't maybe hide that they're kind of immature and petty and bossy and controlling and all that, but they're just hoping that the people who work for them won't be willing to detach from the job to go get a different job. And if we keep ignoring our intuition and someone's already shown us they're not just, they're not fair, they're not loving, they're not warm, they're not, this encouraging, supportive person for us to be in a relationship with, God's going to keep trying to get people to see the truth, keeps trying to get people to listen to their intuition and to be bold and brave enough within themselves to detach from this foundation. But, we've all got lessons to learn in listening to our intuition. And the more you live life and you kind of think back on it, I think there were some signs, but I didn't want to listen because, I wanted a job, I wanted a friend, I wanted a relationship. So I could have ignored what my intuition was telling me. People who listen to their intuition and love to guide them, they don't harness these energies in a shadowy way. They actually harness them in a high vibe way. And people who are shadowy do harness these in a shadowy way, but they don't want people to know it. So they don't show people that aspect of themselves. And sometimes people get in these relationships and it's kind of a mismatched relationship. And I think, we can tend to view other people like, we seem to, live in the same area. We seem to be of the same ethnic group. We seem to be of the same religious group. We are from the same community. We could have had similar life experiences. I think we tend, and then, if we have gotten, the fire energy can talk about kind of being attracted to people, that we could have a lot of commonalities. If it's just a friend, like we seem to hit it off. We could seem to be a lot of the same things in life we kind of enjoy. So you can have a lot of commonality, but then you find out in a relationship that it's like, oh, wow, how I go about my default reaction in handling things is completely different than your default reaction of how to handle things. High vibe people don't get up in their head and their fear and their insecurity right away. They've learned how to temper their fears and their insecurities. People who've learned more lessons in life don't take impulsive, reckless action in a relationship that's really detrimental to a relationship, because they've probably already done that before in their life and they have grown up and matured themselves, and they pause and they listen to their intuition, love and intuition to guide their actions, and they're brave. This is new territory. I maybe don't know how to deal with this. I maybe haven't had this come up in a workplace, in a friendship, in a romantic relationship, or with my family group or whatever. But I'm not going to be bossy and controlling. I'm not going to do all these things to try to maybe instill fear or insecurity in everyone else. That's not loving. And some shadowy people do that. It's like, I'm getting upset. I don't know. I'm fearful. I'm going to do something because I don't like that people are moving forward and other people seem to be listening to their intuition and other people seem to love themselves and other people seem to be more brave and confident than me. I'm going to do something to try to really shake this up and get everybody up in a mental prison. And so that instead of those people moving forward with their life, like loving and believing in themselves, or all these people at work working together to move something forward, no, I know. I'm going to do something to try to get everybody to come back and maybe like focus on them or make it about them or whatever problem they caused. You focus on this. Do not keep listening to your intuition. Because if you keep listening to your intuition, you're going to realize that I'm not operating from the same foundation as you and some of these other people. That I kind of might like it all about me. Or you people are moving forward. You're detaching from old ways of being, old ways of thinking, to free yourself to move forward in life differently. And I'm really in a mental prison about detaching from any of those old ways of being or old ways of thinking about life and dealing with listening to my intuition to guide me. I have a lot of fear about that. And that's when people can kind of become bossy and controlling, that this is the way I want to do the relationship. This is how I want things to go at work. And sometimes you don't know people's fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs and their fear of change, their fear of listening more to their intuition and getting out of their head until things, kind of keep happening. And then you always see them kind of like staying over here in the sense that they never let go of anything. Other people change and grow and mature and concede to things to get along with some people, but they're unwilling, whatever vices they may have that make them feel like safe and secure in a relationship, they're unwilling to let any of those things go. If I'm bossy and controlling, I just can't not do that, they think. If I'm kind of immature and I get caught up in all my fears and insecurity and paranoia, I got a lot of work to do before I can let go of that. And, eventually people decide, I wish you peace. I can't keep staying here. If you're not willing to see the truth of some things you need to let go of, other people are going to leave a workplace And eventually, the people in the workplace could realize that a certain person who might be in a position of authority is the one who needs to go. Why do we have these people miserable? This person's like a black cloud, or they're immature, or they're self centered, or, got a lot of growing up to do, and they don't. And you can hire a bunch of other people to work there, and eventually the other people want to leave. Because people in high vibe energy have learned lessons in life. We have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Money isn't everything. And some of the people who are staying in certain jobs, or are bosses at certain jobs, or even if it's someone in your family or you're married to, for them, the image or the status or the things are maybe the most important, and they'd keep staying in that job or in that group because of money. But other people are like, you can't pay me enough to keep me staying here. The Seven of Wands, the Devil, the Ace of Swords, the Hangman, the Seven of Pentacles. The high vibe people, we all want stability and security, but, they're not willing to sell their soul for it. And some people want people to do that. If they're a bossy, controlling boss or employer, yeah, you're supposed to put up with their shit day in, day out. If they're a bossy, controlling, self-centered, egotistical, fearful, insecure, whatever type of partner or sibling or whoever you got in your family, yeah, they think you should just keep putting up with it forever too. And it's just like, I will let this go. What kind of the Ten of Pentacles in the upright is supposed to be like a long-term foundation. It could be a workplace, it could be a family dynamic, it could be a friend group, an organization. But if the other people weren't in it for the money or the status or the image, they were doing it because they were inspired to face their fears and insecurities, and grow and mature themselves. And they thought the people that they were going to work with in that workplace, group, or organization, they thought those people were going to do the same thing. They didn't think the Ten of Pentacles in Shadow 2 can be like unbudging. I refuse to change. Because in tarot, every suit of the deck gets up to a maximum of 10. And this is like a Ten of Pentacles, which is kind of like throughout our life, we go through cycles and stages in our life. Like, yep, I did being 10 years old to the limit, like a 10-year-old should. But then it's time to let go of being a 10-year-old, and you start back out at like the Ace of Pentacles, and you become like an 11th grader, and or 11-year-old, and you take the things you learned when you were 10 to face the fears and insecurities you have about being 11. Because the truth is, now you are 11 years old. And there's going to be periods where we kind of feel stuck, but because life's different, just like going from junior high to high school, things are different. You kind of got to navigate the landscape, and you try to look at things from a different perspective. You try to expand your perception of yourself and the world around you. And, especially when we're starting out a new phase of life, we should really be paying attention to how we invest our time, energy, and effort, and who we invest our time, energy, and effort into, and we listen to our intuition to guide us. When all those different stages of life where we had to move forward in life differently, we were moving forward into unknown territory, which with the devil can mean that. I moved into unknown territory. It was scary. But the truth is, I felt stuck at where I was at, and I couldn't keep staying there. So I had to invest time, energy, and effort into listening to my intuition about the fact that I needed to let go of that, because some of those people weren't willing to let go of old ways of being to add to it. And they're like, nope, this is the way we've done it. This is the way we've always done it. Change instills a lot of fear and insecurity insecurity. I don't want to do life differently. And I'm hiding the fact that they lack insight because and they also lack motivation to grow and mature themselves. Because the Ten of Pentacles is Virgo energy. You're either more motivated and inspired in your Virgo energy by the world, money, materialism, status, image, or yourself. And if that's, I don't want to see the truth of whatever has me fearful of moving forward in life differently. So I want to live my life right back here. And part of it could be I'm fearful of love, and that's why I'm bossy and controlling in a relationship. I'm fearful of love, so I've decided I don't want to do love, and I just want it to be all about me indulging myself in a relationship. And I'll do that until people see the truth of who I am. They're unwilling to let go of a way of viewing life. And eventually, when we keep refusing to change, it's like people stuck in a time warp. All the rest of the world is going around them. The rest of the world has moved on. I'm sure you can imagine all your different scenarios in your life of people who the world just goes around them because they so are unwilling to do life any differently. And again, that's fine. They can do that. They have free will. They're probably just going to have a lot of people who aren't willing to be in a long-term foundation with them. And they're defensive. They could be mad. Why aren't they as fearful and afraid as I am? Why aren't they so stuck on the world as I am? Why aren't they all in their ego like I am? Why aren't they all about themselves like I am? How do they look at life differently than I do? How come they look at life differently? Why? If we had any motivation to do life differently, we have to go through this process of figuring out why I don't want to move forward in life. And we have to deal with all our fears and insecurities of moving forward in life differently. And when we work through all those things, we get down to the truth because we are emotionally complex and we can have a lot of different reasons, but the truth comes down to apparently Pisces energy, which is about, am I willing, am I so stubborn? Because shadowy hangman can be people who do things just to prove, they think, so stubborn, unwilling to budge just to prove a point. But they're completely operating from pride and ego. Which then the Seven of Pentacles, that could be the foundation they operate from. That could be their philosophy of life. It's all about me. I don't invest in people. I'm defensive. I don't want to deal. Where did I see? Oh, the Ten of Pentacles here being Virgo energy. In high vibe, Virgo energy goes within to see the truth. Have I been acting in pride and ego? Have I been stubborn? Am I more about myself, the world, money, materialism? Am I fearful? Am I insecure? Do I get way too caught up in my head or my emotions or whatever the hell? And the whole thing is, people who are able to move forward in life differently versus people who aren't. Some people are defensive of letting go of a way of viewing life, even if that way of viewing life isn't stable, isn't grounded, isn't with self-awareness. Some people, ignorance is bliss. Some people don't want to see the truth. The truth is what sets us free to move forward in life differently. I've outgrown that. I see why I was so consumed with kind of doing that and why that was so important to me in my life. And now it doesn't, the devil's about something having a hold on you. And it's kind of all those different things I mentioned. it limits us, it restricts us, it confines us, it imprisons us. The truth sets us free. And the people who have done the work, they took this creative, inspired action in Leo energy, high vibe Leo energy. I'm going to offer life-giving energy to myself. I'm going to offer myself love and encouragement and compassion and forgiveness to work through all my fears and insecurities so that I can get to the truth that I deserve to move forward in life, loving and believing in myself. And that is people, the hangman is about in high vibe being enlightened to the truth. I have looked at life differently. I no longer, and it's kind of turning the world upside down because it had to do with our kind of philosophy of life and how we viewed life. And growing up in the world and growing up as a human being in the world, Aries energy is all about the self. When we're growing up in the world, the Fool in Aries energy also is about going on these journeys in life to learn all these lessons. That Major Arcana poster I have up on the board is kind of like in Major Arcana, we start out with the Fool card, which is the 0 card, and we go through all these life experiences to learn what works, what doesn't work. We get in contact with all these different people in the world to find out what their truth is, help us get clear about what our truth is. Are we on the same page? No, I guess we're not. I wish you peace. You know, some people come into our life for a long time. Some people come into our life for a short time. But everything in life kind of serves a purpose. It's not pointless. And even when we go write our life off into the ditch, you know, we're, if nothing else, we're examples for other people. Like, don't follow my path because I made some big mistakes. But we all know as human beings, you know, sometimes people got to learn lessons the hard way, right? And as a human being, we all initially, for that first kind of while in our life, we can be a lot about ourself and what we want. And then, you know, we can be torn because we eventually have to pick a path. And that's kind of making me think of North Node, South Node. And if you were to look up astrology chart on the internet and you pretty much go to any of the websites, it'll ask you for your date of birth and the time of day that you were born and the location, and they'll check your astrological chart of where the planets were at that point. And I know the one I went on, which is something called kind of close to Astleby or Astralby, something like that. One of the things that will tell you is your North Node. And your North Node is that kind of after you've learned these lessons in life, that's like your South Node, and it's the opposite sign of your North Node. But that your North Node is that, you know, when you have grown and matured yourself, that, you know, these lessons that you're supposed to have learned in life, and to use those to help other people in the world, basically, because high vibe energy is about helping free other people who are imprisoned by their fear and their insecurity and their pride and their ego. But just like Jesus and the disciples going out, you know, you go share the good news with people, basically, about, you know, treating them the way you like to be treated, you know, justice and fairness, character and integrity and love. And if people don't reciprocate that, then you wish them peace and you move on, because apparently it's not to try to force people or manipulate people or control people. You go find the people who are open and receptive to love, basically. And there's some people in the world that maybe want to keep being all about themselves, and they're going to have some hard lessons to learn. Other people, when they see that I'm kind of getting caught up in my head about something, which can be I'm kind of in my ego about something, that if people It's accepting that everybody has free will and quit being in denial of the truth, and that people who are loving. People who are motivated to be just and fair are just and fair. People who are motivated to act with character and integrity, people who are motivated to treat other people the way they like to be treated, do all those things. And the people who don't. And it's just that they have some lessons to learn. And we could try to get into the psychology of it all, but it's past pain and heartbreak, self-limiting beliefs, fear of change, the way people have been brought up and conditioned in life, to view themselves in the world, to how they view relationships, how they view other people, how they think other people should act in relationship. Some people are willing to go on journeys with people. I'm not gonna make my life all about money and materialism or being stubborn and defensive. I want to go on this journey and face fears with you and see the truth that it's about looking at life from a different perspective. And I've seen my whole foundation of how I view the world and myself in the world and how I view others in relationship to me. And, it just turns it completely upside on its head, because in the world, we're an animal. We're in the animal kingdom. And we read these atrocious stories all the time in the newspaper of people who are treating themselves in atrocious ways. They treat other people, their marriage partners, their children, other people, random people, like animals. Lack of conscience, lack of, some people in the world acting in their most heinous, base nature. That is the state of humanness in its wretchedness. But we as human beings have free will to elevate ourselves out of our more beastly, base, me, only nature. And it's a gift given to us from the divine. Other animals are just animals. They just listen to their instinct of what to do. And we as humans, we have our own wants and needs and the things that we would like to accomplish in the world. And some people are going about it in a very selfish way. And other people are trying to go about it in a just and fair way, acting with character and integrity, willing to learn lessons in life. They get out of their pride and ego to try to see things from other people's perspective, having some empathy and compassion. And some other people are like, nope, if you don't do it my way, to hell with you. I'll go find someone else. And maybe they'll purposely go look for someone who they think has had a major disruption in their life, that they think might be up in a mental prison. Some people might view you that way. If they know that you've went through something, like you've lost a job, you're going to lose a job, maybe a business place is shutting down or something, or they know you got out of a relationship or whatever. There's other people that basically just are going to prey on those type of people. Yeah, we want you to come work here, and guess how we run our business. We try to present ourselves as very mature and balanced, but once you take the job, you can see the truth that we're very unstable, have absolutely no lack of self-insight about why we do what we do. We're very prideful, egotistical, stubborn, defensive, egotistical, manipulative, and the truth is, we're stuck because we're unwilling to change how we view life, so we keep doing the same old shit over and over, and you're just the newest employee or boyfriend or girlfriend we're getting into a relationship with. And if you don't listen to your intuition and get your ass out of here, well, then I guess if you're defensive to facing your fears and insecurities, it's like, perfect. Hi. Yes, you should stay here. Yes, you should stay in a relationship with me. Yes, you should stay stuck with me in hell. And try to hide all that from the world. Or maybe to admit that you were a fool and made a mistake. Romantically, Some people could have been the person who kind of preyed on people. Other people were the person other people kind of preyed on. They were hiding that they really never planned to like bring the dream into reality. No, I'm just going to indulge myself in this relationship. I'm stuck. I'm hoping if you get in a relationship with me or you start working here, you'll be stuck with me. And we'll both hide that we feel stuck in a little bit of hell. And the other people in that workplace or relationship have been trying to be a good leader, to lead by example. That's high vibe Aries. I'm going to lead by example. I have not been in this situation either, dealing with people like you, but I see that I think you got some issues going on here. You know, and I'm willing to work with you for a while to maintain balance within myself in this situation, so I can show all of you how someone does maintain balance in a situation like this with people who are doing all these things that are chaotic and negative. Kind of sometimes you can be at, like, say, a workplace, and someone can do all this petty shit basically to kind of try to get everybody else up in arms, you know, and it's just like, yeah, no, if they want to do it all, we let them do it all. If we all sit here having nothing to do, then I guess we sit here doing nothing to do, you know? If they want to do it all, they can do it all. And basically, when it's kind of like when somebody's in shadowy energy, it's kind of like they want you to play this sick, kind of twisted game. I'm going to do this, and then you're supposed to feel like, yeah, like they think they're God. I'm going to do this, and then you're going to feel like this, and then you're going to feel like that, and then, you know, you're maybe going to react like this. And it's like to get other people to get down in the dirt with them, and it's like, I'm not going to play the game, and I'm not going to get in the dirt with you. I'm going to keep doing and work on and do the things I can do. If you're going to be acting like that, then I guess you're going to be acting like that. If you're going to be mad like that, if you're going to be whatever, you're going to refuse to help, whatever. You know, as long as I guess I'm willing to keep saying that I am willing to stay in it or keep putting in work and effort at this. But what you don't realize about me, because you might think I'm like you, but I'm not, I am willing to give up this job. I am willing, or this relationship. I am willing to stand in my truth. And when my intuition tells me that's enough, you have invested as much as you can with people who apparently don't want to let go of some ways of thinking, believing, ways of acting, and then all the people in their life that might manipulate them, and they're not willing to let go of any of that. And the high vibe people are like, see ya. I gave it my best shot, and now I'm going on a new journey because I do believe in my dreams, and I'm going to heal from people who are like this. And I, in my Virgo energy, I'm going to keep putting in the work and effort to keep moving forward in love. And I'm going to quit working in a foundation with people like that, and I'm going to take the lessons I've learned to move forward in life, not being in my ego about it. Because love's a free will choice. But people have to be willing to go within to deal with their own issues if you're going to come together with others in joy and celebration in a workplace, a friend dynamic, relationship dynamic. People have to temper their fears, their insecurity, their ego, their more self-centered nature. And if they're not willing to do that, and they're going to keep repeating this old pattern, well, then they have to go find someone else. And that's also part of what they're hiding. They're trying to go find someone else to work with them, be in a relationship with them, and they're hiding the fact that other people let go of being in a relationship with them because this person is very defensive. They harness their Leo energy different. They're defensive. They're more aligned with their me, fear, insecurity, pride, ego, materialism. And the other people are harnessing high vibe Leo energy, loving, warm, nurturing, supportive, creative, inspired. The shadowy people are hoping they won't love and believe in themselves, that when people get in a relationship with them, maybe because the devil kind of represents the world, because they have something that people value in the world: money, status, image, power, attractiveness, social clout, whatever it is they think they got. For some, they have very little, but they're just really full of themselves. They think that other people will never leave. And in their ego, maybe thinking other people will never see the truth. Maybe hoping because people really wanted things to work out and could have been attracted to the person, could have created this foundation together. I bet they'll never want to see through the illusion, because the devil tries to manipulate people about the truth. I bet they'll never work through their own ego and their own fears and their own want for this to be a victory and for it to work out, that they'll keep staying in denial of the truth, and I can keep indulging in this relationship and acting in these shadowy ways, and they'll keep staying. Well, for some of them, they were wrong, because when the other people kept putting in this work and effort to try to help them look at life from a different perspective, eventually they were wondering, should I even keep investing in this? This seems pointless if they're not motivated and inspired to heal or grow or mature or detach from whatever it is that manipulates them. Then I'm going to be manipulated by those same things. And that isn't any of my baggage. That might be things they're afraid of. That might be things that manipulate them. But those things don't manipulate me. But it's like I'm in prison and jail with them. If they have people in their life that they're unwilling to let go of, and those people try to manipulate and be the boss of them or something, and they're unwilling to stand up for themselves to those people, well, then whoever those people are that manipulate them also manipulate your life. And it's like, no, I'm not doing it. But if you want to live your life that way, you go ahead. I'm going on a new journey. What's coming up for the people who harness high vibe Cancer energy? Some people with these cards were not showing themselves. So there's people in the world that don't know that you've learned all these lessons in life. They do maybe know that something could have happened in your life. Some people, and when some people either from your past come towards you or people you meet and they realize that you're not going to be tempted in your lust and your greed and your pride and your ego, because shadowy energy tries to manipulate other people. And when they see they can't manipulate you and that, you're not operating from your egoic nature, that you have overcome your fears and insecurities, and that you're in truth, enlightened to the truth that I trust the divine and God and love and intuition to guide my decisions. I won't be taking action out of lust and greed and fear and codependency. That's going to be a real tower moment for some people, because they see that you love yourself and they can't play on your fear and your insecurity or your lust or your greed or whatever. And that's going to be a tower moment for some of those people. And the other people are intuitive that you're not that kind of person anyway, and they're willing to let go of their kind of fears and insecurities to be in a relationship with you, knowing that you want to go on this journey of love, and they just had to get out of their fears of going on that journey with you also. So, what's coming up for the high vibe people that they might not see coming? The Page of Pentacles, because of leading to the Death card. And the reason is because of the Queen of Wands. High vibe people were willing to become that student of life in like high vibe inner child nature. I have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. I'm going to invest in healing. I'm going to see the truth because the truth sets me free. If these are just issues within myself, I'm going to deal with them because I don't want to lug them around for the next 10 years. If this is other people I'm dealing with, I'm going to see the truth that even though I might have wished they'd move forward with me in life in a loving, just, and fair manner, I got to see the truth. That doesn't seem to be what they're motivated and inspired by. And I get out of my ego about it. So putting a death, shadowy Queen of Wands can be an ego. Putting an end to being in my ego about it, it doesn't have anything to do with me. If people weren't imprisoned by the things that imprison them, they'd be loving and just and fair and giving and encouraging and supportive. But they're not free to do that either because of their own ego, their own defensive nature, their own unstable nature, other people, the world, all those things that they let manipulate them. And you're also then able to do the work in love, because high vibe Leo energy is like being in sun, life-giving energy. I'm going to give myself all the things I wish people in the world would have given me. I'm going to be my own best mother, father, coach voice in my head. And that enables you to emotionally detach from your more immature, egoic, worldly nature and transform your life. And high vibe, the death card is about transformation, like from a caterpillar to a butterfly, being elevated and looking at life completely differently than you looked at it before. Leaving behind immature people who still are really operating a lot from their ego. And you're going to transform your life and go on this new journey of putting in work and effort to bring your dreams into reality because you healed. You healed from your past pain and heartbreak and your fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs that used to keep you on the other side of the tower. Up in your head, in your fears and insecurities about standing up for yourself, believing in yourself, listening to your intuition, taking a leap of faith, believing in your dreams, believing you could heal. And you, well, I guess if you're an emperor energy now, well, a high priestess is above an emperor. In the an emperor and an empress are on the same page, and then a high priestess and a hierophant are at the highest level. It's like I let my higher self guide my decisions. If I were to look back at my life 40 years from now, what would I tell myself? And it's also trusting your intuition to guide you so you don't let your more me, I want what I want nature. It's like, that doesn't work out so well because you in your worldly me nature and I want what I want nature, that's kind of aligning with shadowy energy, which is represented by the devil. You're going to learn some painful lessons that the answer was love all along. And if you don't keep taking action in truth and love and justice and fairness within yourself and requiring that if other people want to be in a relationship with you, that they be on the same page as you in that regard, to think that you can operate from love and treating them in a loving manner, not being shadowy, but they think they can still operate like from their false self and their false persona. So you're authentic and they're like a cardboard cutout person who's really just kind of indulging in a relationship with you being so loving and nurturing and warm and giving, and they're not authentically in that energy themselves. that is like the devil indulging in something because someone is stuck because they're not willing to invest in listening to their intuition that I shouldn't be in this relationship. So there's going to be some people you're going to leave behind, and there's going to be other people that are going to come with you. And some people who know that you are not giving up on your dreams and you will not be manipulated, because that's what sometimes shadowy people do. I know which I mentioned, I'm going to do this and this and this. And I bet, because it's kind of like using the love that they know you have for them against you to manipulate you. I know they love me, but I don't want to do life the way they want. So I'm going to take this foolish risk. I was in a relationship with someone I could have my dreams come into reality if I was just willing to heal and look at life from a higher perspective. But because I still have these lessons to learn, I'm going to take this foolish risk in this relationship to juggle them, to be bossy and controlling. I want you to do the relationship the way I want. And I'm not operating from a foundation of love. It's about my fear, my insecurity, my defensiveness, my ego. And they could be having a tower moment right now, some of them, because you're not going back. And because the reason why they're shocked and having a tower moment is because they've always been manipulated to keep doing life the way they do it. So they never thought you would free yourself from those things. And there could be a whole family or a whole group of people that are shocked that you aren't taking action out of ego or codependency or materialism or whatever, because they all would. And now they're kind of maybe defensive because you're taking action in enlightenment, truth, and love. They kind of look shadowy, and you look kind of like a shining star in the world. Because you took action in your life in truth and love and justice and fairness and balance to transform your life. And they're repeating old patterns. And then other people might start to see the truth that they're repeating old patterns. It's like, I think this person did something like this before. And people are starting to see them as maybe not the high vibrational or loving family people or someone to kind of look up to anymore. And they could be seeing them as toxic. And so now some of those people feel stuck because they invested in hiding that they took foolish action and weren't willing to get out of their pride and ego to speak the truth and act on truth. And some of them still aren't willing to kind of let go of the lie because they're too prideful and egotistical. So they're going to repeat an old pattern, and other people are going to move forward. What's coming up for the people who harness some more worldly focused or shadowy Cancer energy? Okay. The Eight of Cups because of the Two of Cups. Well, the Two of Cups kind of makes me think about what we're aligned with within ourselves. And the Eight of Cups, for the people that are a shadowy person and are kind of prideful and egotistical and materialistic and immature and have a lot of growing up to do, they're still about indulging themselves, and they kind of still live in fantasy land. And they're still aligned with thinking, if I work with the things of the world or go indulge in the things of the world or try to get in relationships for money or status or image or power, or where someone kind of indulges me, I'm sure that will make me happy. And they're going to have some hard lessons to learn. For one, the high vibe people in their life have moved away because those people have become emotionally independent of them. They love themselves. And they moved away from them because they love themselves. They could have had some other people who they thought would be willing to stay in a relationship with them because they thought they were more focused on the same things they were. But if those people are in a relationship and it's not because of love, but it's like, well, I like to be indulged, or I'm fearful and I'm insecure. I don't want to have to grow up or learn lessons in life, or I'm materialistic. If there's someone who comes along who has more status, more image, more money, more willing to indulge me, requires less of me to grow up and mature myself, well, I'm going to go get in a relationship with that person. So that's why for some of the people who acted in shadowy ways, it's not going to work out the way they thought, because trying to get in a relationship with loving people want you to be a loving person. Getting in a relationship with someone who's like yourself, who also likes to juggle and doesn't really like to invest or commit to a path, well, if something else comes up where they can look more like a star, seem to get more of what they think is just and fair, they're going to go do that because they weren't in the relationship for love anyway. And the whole point of it is to try to get people to see the truth that if you want loving relationships, you need to offer yourself a cup of love to face your fears and insecurities to align with love. Otherwise, you're going to keep repeating this same old pattern over and over, just with different people. Find another loving person. Eventually, the same thing will happen. Get someone who wants to be in a relationship with you more for money and materialism. They'll probably go find eventually someone else who, because they're tempted by those things. They're not operating from a foundation of love, so they can be manipulated and their buttons pushed by all these things in their worldly nature that tempt them. But odds are, for right now, the people who've been shadowy are probably going to keep being shadowy. You know, it takes time to learn lessons. And so they probably had a lot more life lessons learned than some other people in their life. And those, you know, anybody who got in a mismatched relationship where maybe it was just that they hadn't learned to love themselves, those people saw the truth between people who might, by worldly standards, seem to have a lot of status, image, power, stability, or whatever, and people who have true stability within themselves because they're not manipulated by their shadow nature and the other people were. And those are the people you can really have a warm, loving, stable, grounded relationship with. So anybody who's in a mismatched relationship, I think some of those people could be getting out of it to do this work within themselves. Other people have already gotten out of those mismatched relationships, done the work, and odds are the people who are shadowy are going to keep being shadowy. So there you go, Cancer energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.